Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Man, oh man, have we got some spicy Warzone 2 information for y'all today. Obviously, with Call of Duty Next, we saw the initial reveal for Warzone 2. That's actually what you guys are seeing in the background right now with some gameplay from my buddy Espresso, who was able to, go out to LA and play the game and stream it. So, enjoy that in the background for your faces. But with the reveal of Warzone 2, we obviously got to see all the new gameplay updates and changes they've made for the new game versus what we already have now in Warzone 1, and it was controversial to say the least. Initially, there were no loadout drops on the map. Obviously, there's a lot of bots and AI all over the place. Everything about the core mechanics of Warzone, it seems, is different in some way, shape, or form. But Metaphor recently took to Twitter to talk about some new Warzone 2 updates that he's heard from his insider source, and they change everything that we know about gameplay. So, per usual with leaks, take this with a grain of salt. That said, Tom Henderson has sort of corroborated on this leak and, said that this is what he's heard as well. Also, prior to Call of Duty Next, Metaphor was talking about some of the Warzone 2 gameplay changes that he's heard about, and he was basically spot on once the reveal happened. All that stuff came true. So, I mean, he's established a pretty credible track record based off of that. But this is his tweet. Warzone 2 update followed by a bunch of different emojis. So yes, he's being a little bit cryptic about this, but I'll break down exactly what all of this means. The first line, you can obviously see, the bots, the map, and then an X. This is basically indicating that AI are no longer all across the map. Essentially, when we got to see Warzone 2 gameplay and when all these other creators and streamers got to play it, everywhere it seemed like there were bots. They weren't just limited to strongholds. They were in random houses in random cities. They were basically everywhere. There was no dedicated areas to them or specified areas to where they would spawn. They were all over the place. They'd show up on the UAV as basic red dots. So you might be red dot chasing after buying a UAV out of a buy station. It could lead you right to bots and you'd get nothing real out of that. It'd be a complete waste of time. But now, according to Metaphor here, those AI, those bots are no longer over the map. That leads into line 2, where it has the bot emoji, a castle, and a check mark, indicating that bots are now basically limited to just the strongholds, which personally I feel like is the way to go for Warzone. Now, yeah, bots would work in a mode like DMZ phenomenally. Same deal with Spec Ops and obviously the campaign. But multiplayer in Warzone, not so much. You don't need bots all over the map for, just random kills to drop you one armor plate. Just put the armor plate in a chest or, on a wall or something so you can just pick it up. It just seems unnecessary, leads to getting third-partied. It's just not really a core gameplay dynamic you need to have. But with the whole stronghold idea, that's how you can go in and get a guaranteed loadout or a guaranteed weapon rather, and end up, completing challenges that way to, spice up gameplay, give you a sort of different task to do other than just loot. I don't think that's necessarily a terrible idea if the bots are, exclusive to those stronghold areas. And again, according to Metaphor's tweet, that appears to be what exactly is going on here. Oh, and by the way, guys, as we are going through everything today, if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Every single day, I got you covered with the latest Warzone 2 news, DMZ, MW2, you name it. You're going to find it right here on the channel. So feel free to hit that sub button. Around 53% of viewers watching aren't subscribed. And if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know by dropping a like on it. Let's try and go for 2,000 likes on this one. Moving on, though, the third line is one that is especially spicy. It has a box and a pill. This is essentially saying that loadouts and perks are in fact back. The probably, I'd say the biggest controversial thing from the Warzone 2 reveal is that there were no loadouts and you would not be able to get perks. You couldn't find them on ground loot. You couldn't end up, buying them out of the buy station. You could not use a loadout because loadouts were not in the game to gain your perks. And obviously your custom guns were locked behind ridiculously high prices in the buy station. It seems like Infinity Ward has potentially heard all the criticism on that and decided, Warzone in loadouts, there's sort of, one in one, right? It's the bread and butter of gameplay, getting your own custom classes and your own custom guns. So it does appear they are back. How they're being implemented, that we don't know. They could be just like in Warzone 1 now, where there's the free loadout drop early on into the game and then also later on into the game as well. They could be limited to just buy stations where it costs $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 to get a loadout. Either way, I think this is a great thing. Obviously, it was one of my major concerns and complaints in my initial review video of Warzone 2, just because it without them, you're promoted to be selfish. You're not really promoted to play as a team and support your teammates. You were pretty much forced to either play for yourself and spend ridiculous amounts of money on your custom guns, or have no good guns and just use ground loot. So the fact that loadouts and perks as a nice little side addition seem to be coming back, I'd say is pretty solid. Honestly, I don't care too much about the perks. You could live without those in my opinion, but it's cool that they're back regardless, so long as there's nothing too crazy like Combat Scout, Serpentine, etc, etc. Then the final thing is something that again I think is a great change. It appears to indicate, obviously there's a box, a scroll, and then an X, that the looting mechanic is no longer the same. The box being the loot, the scroll being the inventory in a sense. That loot UI where you have to go into the chest and basically pick and choose what you want out of it, the very classic and generic Battle Royale looting style with the inventory system, appears to have been scrapped. I imagine they're going back towards the standard Warzone looting system, which I think is phenomenal, where the loot just pops out. It's very quick to navigate and see what you have in front of you. It'll auto pick up some stuff. It's just nice and quick and easy. It keeps that pace rolling and doesn't slow things down to a sort of non-COD standard. Obviously, Call of Duty is fast-paced, it's high action, it's chaotic. That's the theme. That's what it's always been. Call of Duty's not really a tactical mil sim like game in a sense, so I was always concerned about them slowing it down. But really, this tweet from Metaphor here seems to address the vast majority of the major concerns with Warzone 2. Now, you do still have like the 2v2 gulag, which might still be a thing. I'm a little bit indifferent on that. Not my favorite thing in the world, but also I can live with it, you know. But the main concerns, I mean, loadouts, the bots, and the looting all seem to have already been addressed. Now, why is that? I got a couple of theories. Either Infinity Ward sort of expected those things to not necessarily be fan favorites, and so everyone started talking about Warzone 2. It seemed like the vast majority of players weren't happy with these, and they had a build ready to go, and you know, they took action, reverted these things back to the more Warzone style of gameplay. Or with Call of Duty Next, they had that build that was probably, you know, 2, 3, 4 months old. It had a lot of DMZ-like features, the bots, the looting, no loadouts, etc. Perhaps they wanted to test out some DMZ stuff since they don't really have a chance to publicly, and obviously there hasn't been a reveal for that, and they weren't really planning on a lot of that stuff necessarily being in the final version of Warzone 2, so they took that opportunity to have a quote-unquote Warzone Battle Royale gameplay experience, but with a lot of DMZ-like mechanics. That's totally just my theory. I could be completely wrong, but it does seem like the main concerns, the main criticisms of Warzone 2 already have changed internally, according to Metaphor here. So definitely some exciting stuff there. So yeah, the Warzone 2 gameplay leaks have officially changed the game. Like quite literally, these are some major changes here. So of course, we're gonna have to wait and see if anything official comes out from Infinity Ward or Call of Duty talking about these changes pre-Warzone 2 launch. If we get any news on that, or of course any other leaks, rumors, stuff like that regarding Warzone 2 gameplay, you guys already know I got you covered here on the channel, so stick it here for that. Everything else going on in COD, make sure you are subscribed with those noties turned on. And if you guys enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it as well. As always, if you want to check out any of my partners, Scuff, G Fuel, Gamer Advantage, Control Freak, links for all those are down below. Code Immortal gets you a nice discount on all of those. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.